In all things, the fundamentals are what matters most, followed closely by experience. Or so my master used to tell me. When the shit really hits the fan, and you're lying face down in the mud about ready to just give up, your fundamental physical strength and the mental toughness you've gained on the battlefield are what allow you to pull yourself up again and keep struggling forward. Guess her way of thinking must have rubbed off on me at some point. Used to absolutely hate that brutal exercise routine she imposed on me, but now I feel downright uneasy if I miss even a day. Oh great. More cringe-worthy things are about to go down here in the fruit of Grisaia. Hearing a vaguely dopey cry of distress from behind, I slow to a halt and look back down the road. Sachi's jogging sluggishly toward me with one arm around Makina's shoulder, practically dragging the girl along. Remember guys, Sachi's got a maid outfit for everything. That's her running maid outfit. In between gasps of breath, the maid Moro, I have no idea how to pronounce that, mumbles, although we're 3 laps behind. Meanwhile, Makina collapses to her hands and knees, whimpering pitifully. As someone that used to be a runner, I always hated running in the mornings, so yeah, I can understand that. Maybe it's because I just woke up and I don't want to do anything for a little bit, but I'd always like running in the evenings. Those were peaceful times, they were nice times. It just sucked whenever it got dark and I couldn't see shit. Clutching her twitching stomach and moaning like an out-of-tune trombone, Makina stares up at me with eyes full of bitter reproach. But she's the one who declared a war on blubber and demanded to tag along with my running from now on. Don't see how she has anyone but herself to blame. Was it? 5 kilometers is... yeah, it's a 5K, 3.1 miles. It is tough, but I remember doing that on the first day of cross-country practice. That was terrible. As someone who runs a full 16 kilometers every single morning, 5 seemed like a pretty generous concession on my part. Hell, the routine was even tougher back in my old school. We'd all get drummed out of bed at 6 in the morning and gather in front of the dorm for roll call, followed by a sprint to the warehouse to receive a 3.5 kilogram weight, which we would proceed to lug around for the duration of a mandatory 16-kilometer run. And when, eager to ditch our aggravating burdens, we finally caught sight of the exercise ground, designated as our goal, the relief would often only last for a moment. When the squad leader was in a bad mood, he'd instantly blow out right face to send us running back to the dorm, still carrying the damn weights. More often than not, there'd be another right-faced waiting for us when we got there. On top of all that, every time he randomly blew his shrill little whistle, we were expected to break into all-out sprint. So it was near impossible to pace ourselves. On the other hand, I guess that's not really a reasonable standard of comparison. Oh shit. Why am I getting a Snapchat? And from someone I usually don't get a Snapchat from. Whatever. Okay, yeah, I guess we were thinking out loud there. It's nothing. You're right. Let's focus on getting you two able to run a single decent lap around the school. It's only 3.2 kilometers or so. I wouldn't go for the tits, but alright. Well, I'd have a hard time calling Amane perfect in terms of body fat percentage, but whatever. For starters, how about wearing some vaguely appropriate clothing? You could have at least thrown on sneakers and a sweatshirt or something. You know, that's what I was told on my first day of cross-country practice. Even so, casual clothes and boots aren't exercise gear. On top of which, you haven't shined those boots lately, have you? I should be able to see my face in those things. If this was my old school, you'd be doing 200 push-ups right about now.
天音さんが言ってましたので、わざと磨いていないんですよ。
Not that you're any better, still in a maid uniform as always.
はい、これは運動用のメイド服です。
Right, I knew I was gonna get that eventually. I was really expecting this one.
速乾性に優れた特許技術、ウルトラドライマックス素材でできていて、気化熱の作用によって体温の上昇を素早く緩和してくれるのです。
Yeah, the technology that goes in Sachi's maid uniforms are unbelievably impossible to believe, but whatever.
コンセプトは裸より涼しいだそうです。
Alright, tell me something, Sachi. Just how many different maid uniforms do you own?
そうですね。通常用のインターメディエイト、運動用のアクティブ、夏季略装のトロピカル、冬季寒冷地仕様のヘビーゾーンに。
And you want to know what the funny part is? They all look the same.
ボート鎮圧用のアサルト、医療従事用の白いメイド服のメディック、冠婚葬祭および慰霊式典参加用のコンサバティブの計7種類があります。
Wait, what was that? Counterinsurgency?
はい、何でも強化アラミド繊維で縫製されているそうで、試したことはありませんが、9ミリ程度の銃弾なら苦もなく受け止める上に、かねてより弱点として指摘されていた鋭利な刃物による刺突にも対応した新素材を採用したそうですよ。
Why she would have something like that, I will never understand. What kind of a battle maid would need a uniform like that? I mean, where did you even buy that thing?
それは私が特注で作らせたのよさ。
Why?
いえ、最初はネット通販でメイド服を買おうとしてたんですけれど、1万円で売られているものもあれば18万円もするものもあって、お値段がピンキリでして。
I was about to go and translate all that, but I really don't want to.
でね、どれ買えばいいかわかんねえっつうから、迷った時はいっちゃいいの買っときゃいいんじゃねってことでね。最初はユミちゃんちの出入り業者に頼んだんだけど、なんつうの、
榊さんの家の家政婦さんはメイド服ではなくて喫茶店のウェイトレスさんの服のようなものを採用されていまして、業者の方もメイド服は作ったことがないとおっしゃられまして。
で仕方ないから私の家の知り合いのアパレル業者にオーダーで一式作ってもらったのよさ。
I like how we're getting a backstory on this. It's just really
ところが
weird.
その発注した業者というのがフライトジャケットや腕時計なんかを作って軍に納入している業者でして。
So all of a sudden you end up with a bunch of mil-spec maid uniforms, huh?
そういうことなのよさ。アサルト装備にはバイオテロにも対応可能なガスマスクもセットになってて、とってもお得なのよ。
And when is she gonna use that exactly?
コンタミネーションレベル8以上の大気汚染度の高いおトイレなどを掃除するときに大活躍します。
A gas mask, huh? I remember getting drilled on putting those things on quickly back in my old school. I guess it was back in middle school when they started that. I remember clumsily pulling an M40 over my face, then being forced to run a marathon with it on. Pretty rough, even by their standards. Even after returning to Japan, I trained numerous times with a Model 4 protective mask. Usually this involved rushing into a tent full of insecticide fumes. The instructor would blow situation gas as we fumbled to get the masks out of our waist pouches and onto our faces in 8 seconds or less. Not the most exciting training, but simple skills like that can easily make the difference between life and death in the field. After ejecting the gas inside the mask and confirming an airtight seal, we'd pair off with our buddy and make sure theirs was really on properly. At this point, it's kind of a fond memory.
甚だ失礼かとは存じますが、一つ立ち入った質問をしてもよろしいでしょうか。
Well, of course. Ask away. Huh? What do you want to know?
風見さんが以前在籍していらした学校とは一体どのような学校なのでしょうか。
It was no heaven.
あ、 それは私も前々から気になってたのよさ。
I guess maybe in Sachi's story she didn't know either. They really didn't get much of the background, but I'm pretty sure at this point, like from everything that we've been through, it's easy to say we kind of know the shit that Yuji has gone through. For some of it, I know there's a lot we don't know still, but kind of like the school he's been to, where he's working right now, and you know why he has to go kind of undercover as like a garbage man or whatever. What kind of a place? Kind of a tricky question, but let's see. I put a hand on my chin and consider the matter. I said that completely wrong. Consider the matter. Turning my eyes away from Sachi's curious gaze. I was what they called a self-supporting student. I was already working at a middle school age, but since I was still in the compulsory education period, my employer was kind enough to send me to a school at night. That employer I mentioned was an international enterprise with its headquarters in the States. So naturally, the school they paid for me to attend was American as well. I spent the first half of junior high in San Diego, California. Then for the latter half, I was moved to Quantico, Virginia. When they finally decided to ship me back to the Japanese branch, I ended up getting transferred to yet another school over here. Hell of a transition, actually. Nothing at all like how things were in America. Less of a pain in the ass, and that people weren't inviting me to barbecues every weekend. Yep, that's America. But you could really see the difference in how seriously the students approached it.
具体的にはどのように違ったのでしょうか。
Not easy to explain, but maybe this will give you the general idea. In America, the whole point was training us to be useful in the field, where Japan was all about training us to pass the tests. That's actually, I wouldn't say that, but then again, it's kind of a different situation that we're talking about here. Whatever. Basically, in Japan, the inspections were the only thing anybody cared about.
検閲?
Wow, you really said that wrong. There's something like a test. If it wasn't on the test, they really didn't give a damn. They'd give us a little hands-on experience, but rarely bothered to explain what we were supposed to be learning. At worst, they taught us outright nonsense. About the only things America and Japan had in common were the crew cuts and the shitty food.
それは何と言いますか。お勤めご苦労様です。
What? Well, it's not like I was actually in the surface or anything.
でも普通の学校じゃないよね。
I've been feeling a little unsure about our point of reference in that area for a while now. Mind if I ask you two something as well?
どうぞ。
Is this Mihama Academy of ours a normal school? It ain't.
なんて答えにくいことを聞くんだよ、パパ。
Well, if the question seems awkward, I guess the answer is clear enough.
こういった表現が正しいのかどうかはわかりませんが、私たちが普通に通えている時点で、もう普通からは大きく逸脱しているような気もします。
Don't you think it's weird that we've got a dorm that can only, hold so many students, and we've got these classrooms that can hold about 50?
そもそも普通の子は入学してこないのよさ。
Okay, look, I don't want to be that guy, but I knew this school was fucking weird from the moment we got here, and I noticed that there were so many seats that basically, not even half of the students filled the room, and there was only one fucking instructor that we ever see, and that's the principal herself. So you're actually aware you're not normal, huh?
そりゃそうよ。それに私が普通の子じゃないからパパはパパになってくれたんでしょ。
Guess you might be right about that. It's largely because of Makina's overwhelming this kid's hopeless aura that I developed my initial interest in her. The more we talked, the more I realized just how badly she needed someone to set her straight. And in time, her sheer, cheerful obliviousness inspired an uneasy variety of protective feelings. What's this girl going to do without me around? Didn't exactly have myself down as the nurturing type, but maybe the way I've had defending the nation beaten into my bones is part of the reason I felt the need to protect this carefree, air-headed creature. But that doesn't mean you can just sit back and rely on me. True safety is only possible through accurate situational awareness, moderate caution, and readiness to defend yourself when push comes to shove. Sure, Plenty of people sit back and take the protection of others for granted. Easy enough to become a spectator to your own life, throwing tomatoes and booing when things go wrong. But we're going to take a different approach. While protecting you, I'll shape you into a woman with the skill and confidence to solve even the most difficult problems on your own. Damn, I felt like that was pretty fucking golden right there, Yuji. No whining. If you want to call yourself my daughter, then you're gonna become the best of the best. Bear in mind that your failure is my shame. Do I make myself clear? If you understand, then respond.
Ninja!
Alright then, let's start with the 30 sit-ups.
Ninja!
Ranger Komine, you're Ranger Irisu's buddy, a sister.
Ranger!
After spreading out a mat on the ground, which seems like outside the fucking school, Makina plunks herself down on her back and bends her knees. Sachi quickly kneels down to hold her ankles steady. Her eyes burning with determination, the girl links her hands behind her head and attempts her first sit-up, but... Alright. Despite several seconds of intense effort, she only succeeds in wriggling around on the ground impotently. Eventually, the girl releases her head and reaches both trembling arms straight out towards Sachi, but this too proves ineffective at getting her upper body off the ground.
しっかりまだ一回もできてないよ
Well, that'll just make her feel bad. What's all this then? Were my instructions unclear? I didn't tell you to practice your telekinesis, did I? Let's see a damn sit-up already. Show me what you've got. Oh, she died.
1ミリも動いてませんねそれに今ブゴって言いました
Don't really care about that, but Makina, you can't even manage a single sit-up? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, but seriously.
現代っ子なんてこんなものなのよさ
Yes, we are all terrible. Is that really how it is?
自分はできるでありますよ
In that case, let's have you show us how it's done, Makina. Or wait. Fuck, I thought that was a comma. In that case, let's have you show us how it's done. Makina, switch places with Sachi.
うい
After a little more squirming around, Makina pushes herself off the ground and switches places with
何
Sachi.
回ぐらいやればよろしいでありますか
How about 30 for starters? Shout hoo-ha, or whatever, from the pit of your stomach on the way up. Helps focus your body on working the abdominal, I can never pronounce that word correctly,
わ
muscles.
かりましたでは始めるであります
It's like always that
レン
word.
ジャーレンジャーレンジャー
Huh? Sachi repeats her sit-ups with the remarkably regular rhythm of a wind-up toy. Fuck my life. It'd be insulting to even compare this effort to Makina's. But even by more general standards, it's quite the respectable pace for a young woman. Keep this up for about 300 reps and she'd be right up there with your average WAC girl. But my admiration proves short-lived. After passing 20, Sachi's pace begins to slow. I have no idea how to pronounce that, I'm not trying.
じゃあレンジャー
And the same shit that, like, I feel like something similar went down in Sachi's route. What's wrong? We're not in momentum already? Some maid you are. Is that all your devotion to your master amounts to? Don't disillusion me. Show some guts, damn it. Guts! As my abuse rains down from above, Sachi bites her lower lip fiercely.
サクチャップサクチャップビスチャップ
Okay. You're a Jap yourself, you know. If you guys didn't know, that term is actually very insulting, so that's why I was like a little blown away by their use of that term.
それにビッチは甘ねえなのよさ
Ooh. Okay, that does it. Go have Amine give you a nice hard punch on the double.
なんでだよ
Is this girl under the impression that the term bitch means something along the lines of sexy and cool?
30回終わりましたレンジャー
Alright, not exactly earning your salary, but a respectable effort. At the very least, it's 30 better than a certain I don't know what that is, little pastry-faced Fuck, I can't speak. Managed.
ひでえ言われようだな。
Why are you laughing? You do understand I'm talking about you, right? I knew that most of our students were indoor types, but to be honest, I hadn't imagined things would be quite this awful. Not that I'm planning to start running my mouth about how soft kids are these days, especially considering I'm still in that category myself, but...
マキちゃんの場合、入院生活が長かったこともありますし、まずは人並みの体力を取り戻すところから始めるのがよろしいかと。
Hospital? You have a point. In that case, I guess strengthening the cardiovascular system comes first. Was she in the hospital?
おう、任せろ。こう見えてもハートが強いってよく言われるのよさ。
Wait. Is this information I need to know? Or information I should have known? Whatever. I think they're probably just trying to find a nice way to say completely brazen, whatever that word is, but whatever. Well, anyway, let's go with some light cardio. No reason to stress those flimsy little joints, so I'm thinking biking would be the best choice. Of course, I don't plan to have the girl push herself up between two desks and pedal the empty air, so we're going to need an appropriate bike.